Losing a loved one. This can make you feel lost and be confused as to what even is the meaning of life. So, how can you come back from that? Stay tuned and we'll discuss just that. So I got a question from my Instagram audience. TJ Richards asked, after losing someone special in your life, how do you find meaning again? Now, while there hasn't been a death in my family or a death of a close friend that hit me so dearly that I felt completely lost, I have had people in my life that I cared about and completely left me. So let's go back to a story from my childhood. Growing up, I had a neighbor named Michael. He and I went to the same school, played all the same sports, were on all the same teams. We would hang out every day after school and have sleepovers all the time. From when I was 3 years old all the way till I was 15, Michael was my best friend. We did every single thing together. I knew I would always have Michael. We could hang out every day, play sports together, go to school together. It was like we could always count on each other being there. Now, let's fast forward through my childhood and take us to sophomore year of high school. Michael's dad got offered a job in North Carolina. It was a better job for him and his family. So they decided it would be a good idea to pick up and move to North Carolina. We knew about the move months before it happened, but we rarely talked about it because we never really wanted it to happen, or at least I didn't. Months go by and the moving day comes. I have to say goodbye to my best friend who I spent nearly 12 years with. At that point in my life, that's 80% of my waking hours. After we all cried and said our goodbyes, I was not sure I would ever see him again. So, as you can imagine, being a sophomore in high school, I was hit extremely hard by this. High school was already a tough time for so many people, and it was for me. Trying to fit in is the most difficult part about it, and losing my closest and best friend made it even harder. So after a while, I felt like I needed to do something about my situation. So I started accepting the worst case scenario, which would be that I would never get to see him again. Once I accepted this worst case scenario, I realized I had to do something about it. I had this emptiness inside me from missing my best friend. I usually had this energy to hang out with him, and now that he wasn't there, I had to channel that energy and refocus it to hang out with new friends. New friends that I liked, but I just hadn't put enough time in those relationships. It also allowed me to use that extra time and focus on focusing on school at an important time we're preparing for college, and on my favorite sport, volleyball. Now, this transition was very difficult, but I overall became a more sociable person and a more focused person from the experience. So let's break it down and see what I actually did to overcome this problem. First things first is I had to come to terms with what actually happened. When losing a loved one, whether it could be from moving or from death or a breakup, you must accept it. Don't add negative emotions to it because that makes it even worse. See it just as is. In my case, it was I might never see Michael again, and I need to be okay with that. We spent some great times together, and I will always cherish them, but I cannot sit here and wish for them to be back. That's just wasting energy at that point, wasting energy on the past. Now, once you've come to accept the situation as it is, the next thing is to use that energy, time, and focus and replace it with something exciting and motivating. For me at the time, it was hanging out with the new friends that I like, that I just haven't built a relationship with, while also spending time on my studies. If I had left my time and energy empty to no use without Michael there, I would have just spent that extra time sulking and being sad. But instead, by replacing what I used to do with something as motivating or as exciting, I was able to be happy and find meaning in life again. Now, I get my excitement and meaning in life from helping other people overcome their problems by taking action. Let's continue to hang out here by clicking the videos here or here and making sure to subscribe. Remember that no matter what you are facing, you can overcome it, even if it's the death or the loss of a loved one, by taking some action.